Alright, what is going on, you guys? This is your boy, the Death Smash Red. Welcome back to yet another Bleach Brave Souls video. And today, I am back again with yet another Who Is Better video. Actually, wait, this is not a Who Is Better video. This is a Who Is Better remake, because I have already done a comparison between Kokuto and Tenjiro in the past, using a very old format of mine that I once used to use, where I just basically still talk about the characters, but never went in depth for when it came to the pros and cons for each of the character, and I would just basically comment on the actual characters based on how they played in-game while discussing about it. And back then, I wasn't too into kits of how the characters were playing and whatnot, and now that I'm a bit more well-informed, I think it's a good time to actually make a remake. And secondly, Kokuto got his resurrection, as you can see from the red 6-star symbol below his name. Like, that alone is more than enough of a reason to make a remake, because Kokuto went from being an amazing speed character to basically being god tier top 10 again, thanks to this resurrection alone. And we're gonna go into what he got in a bit. But anyways, let us go ahead and start off by taking a look at Tenjiro. So, Tenjiro, yeah, once again, he is still one of the best speed Soul Reaper killers in the game. He's not as insane as 5th Anniversary Byakuya now, but he is still a very amazing unit, to the point that he can even provide buffs to speed Soul Reapers and give them an extra 20% Berserker. But anyways, Soul Reaper / Squad Zero affiliated unit with the Soul Reaper killer. Strong attack reaches time of minus 12%. Mine is 1 out of 5 with level 5 SP, and I'm going to keep it at level 5 SP because I don't intend to get his SP to level 10 anytime soon. So yeah, pretty much. And the overall skills, he has a Berserker at 20%, plus the increased speed attribute Soul Reaper strong attack damage by 20%, so basically a bit more than 20% Berserker, that's for damn sure, and also has paralysis on his entire kit, while also having the revival mechanic on his actual special. Devastation at 40%, Bruiser at 20%, Havoc at 20%, Frenzy, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, and Sprinter plus 2. Overall, very great character, and because he already has Sprinter plus 2, giving this unit Long Stride when at 15, 15, 15 is never a terrible option, because of the fact that he already has 3 flash steps to begin with, and just by giving him Long Stride, you'll make him one of the fastest speed units that you could possibly ask for in the game. He aged well as an actual Soul Reaper killer, and now we have Kokuto, who got his resurrection. Let's go. Okay, yeah, sure. Mine is 3 out of 5, but you know what? That's not an issue, because guess what? I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the slots, just like that, and there we go. Yeah, I lost my coins, but you know what? I can just sell my large jewels and basically get my coins back. And by the way, don't worry, when you remove the slot, when putting back on a desired stat boost, you'll still be able to keep the level where it was at. Like, for example, let's say I had level 10 attack on Kokuto, and I decided to remove it, and then I want to add it back again. It's still gonna stay at level 10, and I'll be able to pretty much get it back just like that very easily. So yeah, it's not a big issue at the end of the day. No affiliation unit with the Soul Reaper killer. Strong attack recharge time of minus 12%. Thanks to his resurrection, he got strong attack damage at 16%, which is pretty good. And as you can see, Kokuto has way higher stats compared to that of Tenjiro's. I mean, obviously, resurrected characters get a lot more stats. Now, unfortunately, in terms of overall attacks, he only has weakening on his 3rd strong attack and paralysis on his special, which is quite the setback compared to Tenjiro, where he basically has paralysis on everything and can provide the revival mechanic towards himself and all other party members, where upon dying, they'll basically come back with 50% of their health remaining. He has a 40% Bruiser, no Berserker, but he does have it from the actual increased strong attack damage plus 16% from the soul trait, so it's like as if he has 16% Berserker at the end of the day. Devastation at 40%, Long Reach at 20%, Havoc at 20%, which by the way is what completely changed this unit overall. Just the fact that he got Havoc makes him compete with a lot of the top dogs for speed. Frenzy, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, and Sprinter plus 1. Now mine is 15, 15, 15, but I gave him no bonus abilities, so I can still equally compare Kokuto and Tenjiro just fine. And in terms of overall character links, well guess what, we can just run off-color strong attack damage / strong attack recharge links on both of the characters to make it equally balanced, because Kokuto, I'm planning to get him 5 out of 5, so that way I can actually max transcend him. I just need to wait for his character pack, and then use the move source, and then the game is done. So do expect a max transcended showcase for this character in the future as well. Anyways, how are we going to be running the comparison? We're obviously going to bring both of the units into IZ. Now do keep in mind that we don't have Soul Reaper enemies, but it's still going to be comparable regardless. Each unit will have the pill, the bait, and the respective strong attack damage increase item, and both of the characters will have the off-color hybrid strong attack recharge, strong attack damage link, so that way the comparison is completely even. Since my Kokuto is 15, 15, 15, I plan to get him to 20, 20, 20 later on, and Tenjiro is just going to stay at 10, 10, 10 for me. So yeah, with that being said, let us go ahead and get right into the gameplays, lads. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now gone over the gameplays, and surprisingly, both units can clear the run in a good minute without killer. So now it's time to dive into the kits for both of these characters and talk about them. Tenjiro has a 570 radius lunge in front of him for his SA1. He doesn't lunge himself forward too much, but he does cover the range of being able to kill as many mobs with the actual strong attack, even though it does take a bit to activate since it is divided into 2 phases. SA2 is a 3000 length beam move in front of him. Can be linear, but when it comes to killing multiple mobs in one line, it gets the job done, especially in narrow maps. SA3 is an 1170 radius AoE distance strong attack. For those that aren't familiar with the strong attack, it's the same SA3 that Mind Koga, Power Hikone, and Can't Fit Your Own World Shunsui has, making it an insanely good attack for killing mobs in front of you as it's aimable. Comes armed with 3 flash steps, has paralysis on everything with the revival mechanic on his special. Kokuto went from having a 475 radius lunge to a 570 radius on his SA1. His SA2 went from being an 800 radius AoE distant attack into a 960 radius in front of him. SA3 is a vacuum vortex attack, similar to Annie Byakuya as he pulls mobs in and explodes them. The way of how it works is very similar, but the mags are very different as they consistently stay at 60% as opposed to how Byakuya starts off at 100% and then drops down to 20%. That being said, it's an AoE aimable strong attack. His radius went from being just 1000 radius with then gradually dropping to 675 to 1200 radius with it dropping to 810 radius. It is very clear here that Kokuto received a massive upgrade in his kit, all thanks to the fact that he got Havoc. Only his SA3 has weakening while the special has paralysis. And now, with all that said and done, it's time for the pros and cons. Starting it off with Tenjiro's pros, better SA3. I don't think I need to discuss the content of this, just the fact that it's an aimable strong attack and has 120% mags at all times without having to do multiple hits to the mobs, which reduces the magnifications, is just purely better than Kokuto's SA3. Sprinter plus 2. You can give him long stride upon getting him to T15 and not have to get him to T20 just for an extra flash step and the skill itself. Does more damage than Kokuto. This is all due to the fact that he has an actual 20% Berserker, plus the Berserker boost he gives out to himself and all other speed Soul Reapers, allowing him to do a lot more numbers than Kokuto. Revival mechanic on the special. You guys keep on dying in hard co-op content such as Inheritance Trials, Inheritance Zone, and Enriched Droplet Zone, where you have to resort to use revival candles and sometimes even orbs. Well, you guys will definitely enjoy this character. You just tap the one button and not only will you be able to nuke the rooms, but also give yourself and your allies a free revive. Once you die, you come back with 50% of your HP remaining and doesn't even use a last ditch link, making Tenjiro a very great team player for co-op content. Squad Zero unit. Tenjiro being a Squad Zero character means you can just about use him in every Squad Zero floor in Senkaimon quests where it requires the unit. Let's say you don't have Ichibei, Oetsu, Senjumaru, or Kiryu, and is a floor that doesn't have melee resistance. You'll be able to clear through the floor just fine. Good numbers of pros, but no character ever comes without his cons, so let's get into it. Doesn't cover the same range as Kokuto. While he may do more damage, in terms of getting an even bigger crowd of mobs, that he cannot do since with this SA2 you have to line up your strong attack properly to even get a huge crowd of mobs spread from afar. His SA1 is a bit of a hit or miss depending on some people. I personally don't like it just because he doesn't lunge himself forward like 5th Anniversary Ichigo, Kokuto, and all the other units that have better lunges in the game, so I leave it to you guys to decide whether you like the strong attack or not. Doesn't have a character pack. This is a bit of a hit or miss con, definitely a miss for free-to-play players, and a hit for pay-to-play players because Tenjiro does not have a resurrection and it won't be for a very long time until he gets one. You want this character? You'll have to wait until he returns in a 1000-year global banner to summon for him again. No other easy way to go about it. I was kind of expecting to give Tenjiro a bit more cons, but this was pretty much the best I could come up with. But regardless of that, let us move on to Kokuto. Starting it off with his pros. Better SA1 and SA2. Kokuto is able to activate his SA1 a lot faster than Tenjiro's and just lunges through the mobs like as if it's nothing, without having the two-face hitbox. SA2 is perfectly amazing for covering a huge crowd of mobs as seen in the gameplay right here. God tier Link. Kokuto not only does he fit the category of being a top tier speed character, but he also fills the role of being a top tier Link. 12% cooldown reduction with 16% strong attack damage is nothing to scoff at as it will buff your best favorite speed units that you use in the game. Is purchasable! Exactly what this bro says. You can pick him up by the time his character pack is out, no RNG, guaranteed speed Soul Reaper killer. Definitely worth the value if you spend money on this game, and definitely worth it if you want to play as an amazingly good speed character. Now, whether or not we get re-releases of movie character packs, that has yet to be confirmed by KLab, but honestly, it's better to be safe than sorry if you guys can actually afford to pick this character up. No affiliation unit. Kokuto being a no affiliation unit doesn't mean that he's just immune to killers in all hard content in the game, but just like Tenjiro, he still has a use for a lot of the floors in Zenkaimon where you need to have no affiliation units. Coming with the fact that, of course, the floor must not have melee resistance. Yeah, he's not usable in a floor 46 of the Iceberg of Training, unfortunately. Very good pros for Kokuto, but once again, no unit ever comes without flaws, so these are the cons for him. Doesn't hit as hard as Tenjiro. It is great that now, thanks to his resurrection, he did pick up Havoc at 20% and a 16% Berserker, but the fact remains that Kokuto will be quite behind in terms of pure damage numbers, simply due to the fact that he only has a 16% Berserker, as opposed to Tenjiro's 20% Berserker, plus the 20% Berserker boost he gives out to himself and every other speed Soul Reaper. Speaking of damage, not the best SA3. The SA3 in and of itself is good, it can still kill mobs, but here's the problem with it. 1. It locks you into place. If Kokuto ever becomes a bonus again in epic raids, when using that third strong attack, because invincibility frames are non-existent in that game mode, you need to be very careful when using that third strong attack. Let's say the boss actually happens to attack you and you're in the middle of using your third strong attack, you can't flash step out of it until the animation finishes it. You can't animation cancel out of it. And the second thing is that you need to at least have his SP at level 10. If his SP at level 10 isn't enough, then also the focus at level 10, in order to efficiently kill out more than one waves of mobs. His mags are not the same as 5th anniversary Byakuya, despite working the same as him. Not having status ailments on his entire kit. For inheritance trials, unless it's max transcended with 500 SP, he's not going to be the best to run, since you want to be able to proc status ailments to get rid of the Iron Skin ability that the enemies have. Only the SA3 having weakening is a big missed opportunity. To give this comparison an overall conclusion, even after Kokuto got his resurrection, Tenjiro is still the better character in terms of value compared to Kokuto, but that's not to say that Kokuto is not as great as Tenjiro, as he was able to keep up with him even by just clearing a second behind him. Tenjiro does more damage on all of his strong attacks and is a great team player for co-op by having paralysis on everything, the revival mechanic, and the Berserker boost to speed Soul Reapers. But his kit is also somewhat linear, since you have to go out of your way to line up your second strong attack to annihilate multiple waves of mobs. Also makes him very amazing for guild quests and epic raids. Kokuto isn't much of a team player compared to Tenjiro, but does have an overall better kit than him, and will be able to excel more for when it comes to covering a lot of range on his strong attacks, and will still be able to kill mobs just fine despite only having a 16% Berserker. At the end of the day, this will all come down to personal preference of which character a player prefers playing as the most. If you like having more damage and playing as a more elevated kit that is similar to Fierce Battle Ichigo or Fierce Battle Kenpachi, Tenjiro is the way to go. If you like having God Kit despite only having paralysis on the special, weakening on the third, and only a 16% Berserker, Kokuto is the way to go. And in my personal preference, my own biased opinion, I still prefer Kokuto more than Tenjiro. The fact that he made it back on being the top 10 speed characters is nothing to scoff at, and it's crazy to see this character back again. And that basically ends this Who Is Better remake of Kokuto and Tenjiro. Now, if you guys have actually enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and hit the bell notification so that way you guys are up to date with my most recent videos. Now, if you guys happen to want more remakes of my older Who Is Better comparison videos, do let me know in the comment section below. I will be reading the comments from time to time and pretty much see if I should even go about doing so. So if you guys have any ideas, be sure to pretty much write them down in the comment section below. And if you guys want to also join the Discord server and follow me on Twitter, links will be in the description down below. This has been your boy, the Vast Masher, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, lads.